Islam. If there's anything lovely, if there's anything desirable, if there's anything within the reach of man that is worthy of praise, is it not knowledge? And yet, who is it that obtaineth it? The statesman proclaimeth that he have it. The ruler of the people claimeth the praise of it, but findeth the subject that he possesses it. Evil is not requisite to man, neither vice can be necessary to be tolerated. Yet how many evils are committed by the convenience of the laws? How many crimes committed by the decree of the council? But be wise, O rulers, and learn, O thou that art to command the nations. One crime authorized by thee is worse than the escape of 10 from punishment. At this time, I'd like to recite the Moorish prayer, and it is said on this wise. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Jew Ali. Amen. First of all, I'd like to rise, walking in Jerusalem, just like John, giving praise to Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible, the one who stretches forth the heaven with his hands, who have described with his fingers the courses of the stars, who set its bounds to the ocean that it cannot pass, and said to the stormy winds, be still. I'd like to give on to the lily of the valley, the bright and morning star, talking about none other than our holy and illustrious prophet, Noble Jew Ali. I'd like to give on to Prophet Noble Jew Ali because it was he who reached down into the watery grave of hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harmed and set me back upright on my feet again. I'd like to give honor to all of those and honor to all of you that have and will aid and assist us in this, our divine and gigantic mission, the uplifting of fallen humanity. And last but not least, I'd like to give honor to effort because so many of us don't even try. Praise Allah and honor to the Prophet, Noble Jew Ali. I'd like to read from the Moorish Holy Quran. This is the book of the 7 seals that none was able to open and read from its sacred pages the messages of purity and love, and read on this wise. The beginning of Christianity. The foundation of Christianity began in Rome. The Roman nations found the first church of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law. Jesus himself was of the true blood of the ancient Canaanites and Moabites and the inhabitants of Africa, seeking to redeem his people in those days from the pressure of the pale-skinned nations of Europe. Rome crucified them according to their law. Then Europe had peace for a long time until Muhammad I came upon the scene and fulfilled the works of Jesus of Nazareth. The holy teachings of Jesus was to the common people, to redeem them from under the great pressure of the hands of the unjust, that the rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. The rulers and the rich would not oppress the poor. These teachings were not accepted by the rulers, neither by the rich, because they loved the principles of the 10th Commandments. Through the 10th Commandments, the rulers and the rich live, while the poor suffer and die. the poor suffer and die. All nations of the earth in these modern days are seeking peace. But there is but one divine way that peace may be obtained in these days, and it is through love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, being taught universally to all nations in all lands. Thus we just had a reading of the Moorish Holy Quran, divinely prepared by our Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali for our earthly and our divine salvation. Indeed, it's an honor, a pleasure, moreover a duty, to be able to come before you, our Portland listening audience, to talk to you about the last prophet in these days and time, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Today I'm going to be doing a couple of shows, and I have a lot of stuff that we want to talk about. The things that I want to talk about are the things that Noble Drew Ali told us to talk about, and I'm going to explain it to you right now. There's so much here. First person I want to do, I want to go to a chapter in the Moorish Holy Quran. And the chapter I'm going to go to in the Moorish Holy Quran is chapter 45, 46, and 47. And I'm going to read from verse 14. I'm going to read from verse 14 of this chapter. And it's read on this wise. It said, every subordinate temple of the grand major temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. I, the Prophet, Noble Drew Ali, was sent by the great God Allah to redeem all Asiatics of America to repent from their sinful ways before the great and lawful day which is sure to come. Praise Allah. I want to start off by talking about this verse here. This verse, it says that the prophet said every subordinate temple under the grand major temple is to form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs as long as they're in conjunction with the laws of the prophet and the holy temple. And the reason why I read that is because we all are accountable for this. Every Moorish American Muslim is accounted for this because Noble Drew Ali gave us these instructions. And I want to share something in reference to what the prophet just said, because everybody got something to say. Everybody has something to say about Noble Drew Ali and his teaching. So today, I'm going to be just like everybody else. I got something to say too. And I'm going to go to a chapter. There's a chapter in our Moorish Quran. And this chapter in the Moorish Quran reminds me of what the Moors call Tag Day. And Tag Day is March the 17th. And in March the 17th, Noble Drew Ali gave us this Tag Day. And the Moorish Americans have a lot of meetings and things that they teach on this day, Flag Day. But I had a conversation with the same people that I'm in this room with. And we was talking about this Flag Day and the Moorish Science Temple of America. But there was a few Europeans that were sitting in this meeting. And they was telling me, do I honor Flag Day? Do I honor this day of March the 17th? Because Noble Drew Ali gave it to us. And he said that this is the day that we should honor. But there were some Europeans in the meeting. They asked me, said, do you honor Tag Day? And I said, well, it's there, and I'm here in America. I don't have no reason to really honor it other than what Noble Drew Ali told us. But the lesson of the day is this. The prophet told us about the European nations. He said that you have the Portuguese, you have the French, you have the Italians, you have the Dutch, you have all these different nations that's European. So he said that we have a lot of different holidays. Us Moorish Americans have a lot of holidays in this government. And all the European they want to know why I honor this particular day, because he said we don't. Every European nation do not honor all of the same European holidays that the rest of them honor. Some honor Christmas, some honor Thanksgiving, some honor Flag Day. There's a lot of different days that a lot of ones honor, but here in the Moorish Science Temple of America, we don't really see the same signs that you do, because during the advent of slavery, each European nation played a different part even in the slave trade. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today, because it's important that we do, and we need everybody to understand that the gifts of understanding are the treasures of Allah. And he appointed to everyone his portion in what measures seem good unto himself. He said, have you endowed thee with wisdom? Have you enlightened thy mind with the knowledge of truth? Say, communicated to the ignorant for their instructions, communicated to the wise for thine own improvement. So let me get back to here, but so much that we got to talk about today. So we're talking about Noble Drew Ali. We're also talking about March the 2nd. I put that post up, and I wanted everybody to look at it, because they say March the 2nd, 1956. They said, what happened March 2nd, 1956? But it was a good day to me, because in 1954, there was a brother, H. Scott Hill, out of Temple 21, and out of Temple 21, and it might be New York City. And that brother out of Temple 21, in 1954, he had got a brother named G.S. Hatchet Bey and Wesley Walker Bey, and these two brothers, they was instructed to get in touch with this brother German Bey. And the reason why they was instructed to get in touch with German Bey, because there was some brothers in Lexington, Kentucky that this brother had met. And when he met them, he wanted them to be able to learn about the holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, so he got in touch with that brother. So that's something else that we're going to talk about in a minute, because we have a few shows. But don't forget that, because everybody should have some questions in reference to that, because I'm hearing people every day, everybody got something to say about Prophet Noble Drew Ali. So we're going to start it off. We're going to start it off, and we're going to go back. We're going to go back to when we was known as Moors. But you have to understand, they said the Moors went in Spain in 711. And they said the Moors went in Spain in 711 and stayed there until 1492. So if we went in Spain in 711 and we was Moors, then truth don't change. Because man today is what his forefathers were yesterday. And there's no one who is able to change man from the decent nature of his mother and father unless his power extends beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. I don't have all the wisdom, but I do have a little bit of knowledge. So if we was known as Negro yesterday, if we was known as colored yesterday, if we was known as black yesterday, then how do we as a people begin to call ourselves black? Because black, according to science, means death. And the only black flag I know is the one that killed roaches. So we want to look at this again. We want to look at it again because they said we was Negroes. And Drew Ali said Negro is a name given to a river in West Africa by Moors because it contained black water. Say we're not colored. It said colored is anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. So let me stop right here, because we're talking about Negro, and now we're in colored. We're colored today, because truth don't change. Whatever we were yesterday, that is who we are today, because we are who our forefathers were. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there was a mission. There was a mission with the Chinese people. And in a meeting that we had recently, there's some paperwork that the Chinese will admit. They will, we want to admit this because being that we are Chinese, we come through the Moors. It says Moors are the torchbearers of civilization. So we, not only the Chinese, but a lot of other nations in this world come through the advent of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Moors. That's who we are. That's who our forefathers were. So in the time of Martin Luther King, he came out with the civil rights era. And when Martin Luther King came, started calling us colored. Because we know colored is anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. So we was colored. We was colored then. And then when we was being called colored, we had something else that we was dealing with, which was civil rights. And Noble Ali told us that civil rights is a non-political issue. He says civil rights is not even an issue that you could take to the UN. Everybody is talking about civil rights today. Everybody is talking about human rights today. But can't nobody talk about that if you're not being who your forefathers were. You want a reparation? You want reparation for who? You want reparation for the Negro? You can't get it. Because man today is what his forefathers were yesterday. You can't get reparation for colored, because colored is anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. You can't even get on there as black. Because black, according to science, means death. And as I just said, the only black flag I know is the one that killed roaches. So we got a lot to look at. We got a lot that we're going through. The brothers and sisters that's here in America today, we have been put on the back burner because the European nations, they have taken our name, our principles, our culture, and buried it in the ground, just like they did Jesus. They took my Jesus, they buried Jesus in Vatican Square, and they took on his name. And now those that then took on his name is calling Jesus something other than who we were. Now let's look at this. I was teaching a lesson not too long ago, and we was talking about Jesus. We was talking about his mother Mary. We was talking about his grandfather, Joaquin. We was talking about Bo. We was talking about everybody. But now I'm looking, as I said on my last show, at our beautiful president of the United States. And the beautiful president of the United States is beefing. He's beefing with his people. And he said the reason why he's beefing because you got those who call themselves Jew. And those who call themselves Jew are really Germans too. Because our president of the United States of America, Bush, what's his name? Biden. So many of them, so many different names, so many different presidents. And Biden, he is saying that he is Jewish. And he is saying that whatever we are going through, he's going to give you the lesson that you don't have because he is no longer a German. But let me tell you this. And man, this is very hard for us to see and accept. Even Christianity. When the prophet said Christianity began in Rome, they took my Jesus, they buried him in Vatican Square, they took on his name, and now they calling us Negro, colored, and black. But you understand that when I talked about Joaquin, when I talked about Boaz, when I talked about all of our forefathers, then you have to understand that you got Abraham. You have Boaz by Ruth. You have Jesse. You have King David. You have Solomon. You have Hezekiah. And you have Joseph by Mary. So when we talk about Joseph by Mary, we bringing Jesus into play now. Because before Jesus, we had Abraham, and then we had Ruth. And Ruth had a few sons. And when you begin to talk about Ruth, the Moabite, because the Moabites are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. So we can't even go to nobody. We can't go to nobody, ask for no reparation or nothing until we come back under our own vine and fig tree. What do I mean by vine and fig tree? You know who your forefathers were. I was at my cousin's 100th birthday. And when I was there, I met an old timer, one of the brothers, and we were talking about Jesus. and we was talking about Jesus' parents and Jesus' forefathers. We were talking about Ham. We were talking about Shem. We were talking about Japheth. But they done took somebody else and put them second and put their forefathers first. But Ham, Shem, and Japheth is the foundation. Anything else was given to you. Now let me tell you something. When you find a man or a woman that want to take your forefathers, who they buried them in Vatican Square and put them under the ground, when you begin to see someone that would take on the concepts and the ideologies of who it really belonged to, talking about me, then we know something is wrong with this mission. So all of our brothers and all of our sisters, just like that. Last week, we had two brothers on the show. And these two brothers that was on the show, they was members of the Nation of Islam. But before the brothers came on the show, I had a meeting over there with them brothers. And one of the first things I talked about when we had the meeting with the brother was certain things that those of African descent didn't do. And what was that? I said, man, we don't lick, we don't suck, we don't do none of that. When we say we was going in Spain to give Europe civilization, we talking about bringing them out of the Dark Ages. And when you talking about bringing somebody out of the Dark Ages, that meant that there was a time when the whole world was called Asia. See, at this time, Europe was not even in existence. The whole world was Asia. We're Asiatic Muslim. That was the book that said, who are you? Say, I'm an Asiatic Muslim. It said, why are you an Asiatic Muslim? I said, because there were two formulations, Asiatic and European. And I'm sure not European, and I'm Muslim because I submit my will to Allah. Whenever you meet Chinese, all of them tell you that they're Asiatic something, because the whole world was called Asia. But now in the human family, you have two different formulations. You have Asiatic and you have European. It's hard to find out today who is the Asiatic and who is the European, because all of my friends who was Asiatic when we first grew up, they're no longer Asiatic. They're European. And when you take on the concepts and when you take on the ideologies of somebody else, then you done took on their spirit. So when we talk about the spirit of the prophet, we're talking about the concepts, we're talking about the ideologies, we're talking about the wisdom that he gave us. He said the last prophet in these days is Noble Ali. The reason why I said that is because a lot of brothers and sisters right now is fasting. So the brother say, are you fasting? He said, if you are, who you with? Are you with the Shiite? Are you with the Sunni? Are you with the Hanafi? Are you with the Ahmadiyya? Who are you fasting with? Because in all of our teachings that we have, everybody don't see it the same way. So now we're talking about fasting during the month of Ramadan. I hear a lot of brothers that was in the Prophet's first 15 temples. I hear a lot of those brothers talking about fasting today. But when I first joined the Moorish Temple, a lot of brothers wasn't fasting. A lot of sisters wasn't fasting. And all of them was eating pork. And I wanted to know. And I asked my master, what everybody doing eating pork when we supposed to be Muslim? And a Muslim is one who submits his will to Allah. And fasting, you're fasting during the month of Ramadan, giving back to the great God Allah. But you know what I found out? And the reason why I want to say this, because you have every year, every 3 years, every 4 years, you always have somebody coming up with their concepts and they coming up with their ideology and they want to hear something about fasting. And you know what? The Holy Prophet Noble Ali will give you some signs. And this is very important. This ain't something to talk to somebody about. This is something that I'm just sharing with you. I'm sharing it with you so you can exercise your own senses. The Prophet said, let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so. And if you find a brother and a sister who is not able to exercise their 5 senses, what do that mean? That means that somebody is going to have to exercise them for you. And you can't exercise yourself, somebody's going to exercise. So that's why we have all this literature. That's why I know what He gave us this. He gave us all this literature. And I'm going to show you what I mean. We're going to go to chapter 5 right now. I want to take you to chapter 5 because a lot of stuff is going on that we're going to talk about. And when I go to chapter 5, what it says, after the feast, the homeward journey, the missing Jesus, the search for him, his parents find him in the temple. He goes with them to Nazareth, symbolic meaning of carpenter tools. Now I want to talk about this because it applies to you and it applies to me. Because I say the whole world was called Asia at one time. And if the whole world was called Asia at one time and Europe was not even in existence, then that means that a lot of us, we're no longer Asiatic. We're European. And if we call ourselves black, if we call ourselves colored, if we call ourselves Negro, or let's look here. Right here, it talks about we use the square to measure all our lines to straighten out the crooked places of the way. It's talking about the axe. And all of these are tools of the workshop of the mind. See? But in this tools of the workshop of the mind, we're talking about where things are made of thought. See, thought is the cause of it all. Everything comes from thought. I was in another conversation with a brother, and the brother said, man, when I die, it don't make no difference what I do on this plane of things manifest. He said, because once I die, I'm going on anyway and be put in the ground. But I see something different in the literature that I'm looking at, because the book said many ages man going to tarry until all his lessons are learned. And we're going to have to go through these trials and tribulation. There are foes in our life that we're going to have to overcome. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be duality. That's why he said national and divine. And the reason why he said national and divine, because we have a national history, a national origin. And in this national origin, it tells you how you have to rise above the flesh. It said man is not the body, nor the soul. So he's a spirit and a part of Allah. So now if a man is spirit and a part of Allah, it said by many ages, man gonna have to tarry until all his lessons are learned. So now me, man, I do everything. I do everything under the sun. But I gotta realize that I'm gonna have to give this up. I'm gonna have to overcome these things, and I'm gonna have to start walking like the Holy Prophet tell me to walk. And until I do that, then nothing is gonna work, and we still gonna be going through these subject matters that we're dealing with today. So now let me read something else. I see. Right here. Now we're going to talk about something else that the prophet gave us. He told us about Lucifer. He told us about Satan. He told us about the devil, the dragon, and the beast. And each one of these are attributes. And each one of these attributes live in you. And each one of these attributes live in me. And the only way that we're going to get rid of these attributes and throw them out the door, we're going to have to start holding on to the teachings and the instructions of the Holy Prophet, Noble Drew Ali. That's why he said we have to learn to love instead of hate. And the only Savior of the world is love. And Jesus, Son of Mary, come to manifest that love to man. So this is where we are at now. We are dealing with some issues that everybody deal with in the Moorish Temple of America. Let me finish. Let me finish this. I remember years ago I asked a question. I got over 50 years in the temple, so I don't know as much as a lot of people, but I know this. I know that the Moorish Temple of America, and I read it, it ain't but one. It ain't but one Moorish Temple of America. And in dealing with this Moorish Temple of America, all these different temples, and Drew Ali say ain't but one. When you begin to talk about the resurrection, see, they said they put me in a tomb and I wrestled with the conquerors of men, and I conquered death. So the only way that you could conquer death, you're going to have to conquer Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and the beast. And when you look up these attributes, you can look and see that they have some characteristics that live in you. You and I got to overcome these attributes that's in us. And we overcome to be the strength of Allah made manifest. Now, our principle is love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So you know what? Everybody now is talking about Ramadan. And a lot of people talking about Ramadan, you just begin to talk about it. You ain't been talking about it. I remember the first time I stopped fasting. I fasted with the Nation of Islam. And they was fasting on Christmas, during the time of Christmas. And all during the Christmas, they would fast from all the way through. They would fast. Then after that, the Moors, we would fast with the Sunni community. We fast with everybody. And then when Noble Drew Ali's birthday came, what we did on his birthday, we fasted from the 8th all the way through the 15th. So we've been doing this all the time. But you know what? We all have to look at, we got to do it from our perspective. Because this is a new era of time now. And this era of time that we're living in now, you know, we keep looking right now. I got some brothers that's fasting, but they're trying to learn Arabic. They're trying to do things exactly the way that the European done it. But you know what? We got to do it the way that the Moors did. You know why? And the reason why I'm saying that is that we're doing it the way that the Moors did it is because in this era of time, the Moorish Zion Temple of America have a new prophet. Muhammad ain't our prophet no more. We honor Muhammad. We give honor to him. But whenever a nation is in need for a prophet, Allah will send one. And because we was in need for a prophet, and this is a new era of time, Noble Drew Ali sent us somebody else. He had to send us somebody else. There's nobody in the history of mankind that was around during our time that could come and tell us anything. You can't come and teach me about Negro, colored, and black. You can't tell me anything if it ain't about my nationality. That's why when Allah said, he said, whenever a nation is in need of a prophet, Allah will send one. And that's what he did. He sent us Timothy Drew, known later on as Noble Drew Ali. And Noble Drew Ali came to redeem us of our sinful ways and to warn us of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. But a lot of brothers and sisters, we ain't ready for that yet. We still want to keep looking over there in the Arabs. We keep going way over there with them. But this is new Arab time. And most of them are the Europeans. Most of them is working with the government. We had all these troubles later on, but follow the prophet to a destiny which is not uncertain nor unknown. As I said, most of us that's fasting, we don't know if it's an Ahmadiyya, Hanafi, a Sufi, or whatever it is, but you just grabbing on one of them. But fast. I ain't saying nothing wrong with fast because there ain't nothing wrong with it. But right now, let's do it in the name of Drew Ali. Let's do it in the name of Drew Ali because a lot of these people was a part of the slave trade when we went through what we did in 7-11. Now, you know what? They said, when was the head of Satan taken off? It said 1453 Byzantine. It said by whom? It said by Muhammad. So if the head of Satan was taken off in 1453, and the Moors went in Spain in 7-11, and we fell in 1492, then that means in 7-11, when the Moors went into Spain, we was already conscious. But when we went in Spain, we started calling ourselves something different than what was given to us. So all these Europeans that we talk about, that keep talking about Islam, you know, who are we? We don't have a nationality. We don't have our own religious creed. Drew Ali brought it to us, but guess what happened? A lot of brothers ain't gonna like this one. You ain't gonna like this one. I remember that my instructor was telling me some things. And he taught us some very needed lessons that we have. And he told us that Noble Drew Ali, the last prophet in these days and time, came and told us that we wasn't Negro, black, and colored, but we was Moorish American, descendants of the ancient Moabites, who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. So when we talk about the Moabite, we think about Ruth too. See? We think about Ruth. We're thinking about Ruth's husband because there was two doctrines. There was Joseph and there was Jacqueline. And Joseph was Murray's husband. Jacqueline was Murray's father-in-law. Father. So these are lessons that was given to us because everybody done took our forefathers. They done took on our name. They done claim to be who you and I are, and that's not how the book goes. So we're going to keep on going through this chain. Now, let me say something else. There ain't but one prophet. Now, Drew Ali, my instructor, I like that. He's just a regular brother. He ain't no different than nobody else because there ain't but one prophet. I mean, I don't care what, if he tried to call himself Noble Drew Ali 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say, holy shit. Now you know that's right because there ain't but one prophet. When a nation's in need, Allah. So Allah sent Drew Ali. He didn't send nobody else. He sent Noble Drew Ali to redeem us from our sinful ways and to warn us of the great wrath which is sure to come. So Noble Drew Ali was sent to redeem us from our sinful ways. Allah sent Noble Drew Ali. So we just say Drew Ali is the last prophet in these days and time. And how did the prophet begin to uplift the Moorish America? By teaching them to be themselves. Now we were just reading something. Everybody want to know why they didn't teach about Prophet Noble Drew Ali in schools. And I'm going to tell you why. You ain't going to like it, but I'm going to tell you why. Because I was on the colony, Moorish Home number 1. We had a lot of meetings. You know, even when I was in Petersburg over there, we used to go and they used to, you know, we used to have a lot of dealings with those brothers and sisters. And so many lessons that would come up that we needed to redeem ourselves. See, we talking about redeem, that means that when you begin to talk about the last prophet in these days and time, and when you find brothers and sisters who forget about Drew Ali, they got Sheik over there, and the Sheik over there, and Sheik, ain't but one. The book just tell you that. He said every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple should form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create their own laws and customs in conjunction with the laws of the Holy Prophet and the Grand Temple. So now I'm in disenchantment with my leadership. But the Prophet said every subordinate temple. So if I have a membership, if I have people with me, I still got to stay with what the prophet said. I can't go over there. I can't do nothing else. I got to stay right there with the prophet. And this is where we're having a lot of trouble because we have 100 prophets. Everybody jumping out there, but let me tell you, when the prophet was on the scene, we had a grand body. And one day the prophet called a meeting. Ask your elders. Ask your elders, they're going to know this. You can't ask a lot of them because a lot of them now, they call themselves elders. You know, Brother Arloville was the one that gave them the key. James Bey gave them the key. But James Bey, my man, he can't talk about nobody because he come from under Temple 13. Matter of fact, when he went and stretched out to the brothers that was in the joint, he had to give the number 13 back. Just like number 19, you can't use 13. You can't use number 19. The only Grand Sheik that can use Temple 13 or Temple 19 is Brother R. James Bey. James Bey is the Grand Sheik. We ain't all right, but I love him because he's my brother. I remember I was go to D.C., I had to go up to the temple and everything, and I remember I went up there, and brother, I went up there, you know, but they was telling the truth. Let me share what I mean, because I'm telling you some stuff. I'm talking in science because certain things, you know, you're supposed to reiterate, you know, but what took place in Chicago, there's the Europeans was trying to get a lot of brothers and sisters to work with them to get rid of the prophet. I told you that when the prophet went in 1928, when he went over to have that meeting over there, right? When he had the meeting with those brothers and sisters that was in the East. He came back. And when he came back, they asked him in Alice Island. When he came back, they said, "Where's that?" And they don't know what you're talking about, where what is. I got the love, truth, peace, freedom just in my mind. So Drew Ali, they got rid of him. The sister that I was talking about, she was living on a colony. She was the grand governess. And she cried when we had the meeting. And let me see who was there. F. Nelson Bey have a son named Muhammad. And Muhammad was there. I like that meeting that me and Brother Muhammad was in. And the reason why I was happy, because they was using the word Muslim and they was using the word Muslim. But you know there's no U in the Arabic language. But all of our literature that Noble Drew Ali talked about, when he talked about Muslim or Mohammed, he always used the O, because you know there's no O in the Arabic language. So there's many. So now I'm going to sit down with them Arabs over there, and you know you're going to talk to me about Drew Ali when you come from me. You, Biden, and all that, then took my Jesus, buried him in Vatican Square, and this is what took place. So now let's look at 7/11. We're looking at 7/11. So now let's look at 1492. Because the foundation of Christianity began in Rome. And when you begin to talk about the 15th century, you have to understand that this is when the European nations, the Christians, the Catholic Church, the foundation of Christianity began in Rome. It was the Roman nations that founded the first church, of whom crucified Jesus of Nazareth for seeking to redeem his people from under the Roman yoke and law. So now we're talking about the Romans. There go again. We're talking about the Romans. Now they got a holiday too. And what holiday do they celebrate? Maybe be Easter, maybe be Christian, but all of the Asiatics don't honor the same holidays, because we're talking about the European nations, and they have their own holiday. But I'm getting back to this because it's important, because all of our brothers and all of our sisters that's in the church, you know good and well, anybody that's have any kind of intelligence, this is real. Now, you done sold out, because this is how Drew Ali lost his phone. Drew Ali told the members, he said, they came for me before, but they weren't able to get me. He said, man, but I'll be gone in a little while because they're coming back. And Drew Ali talking to us. He was talking to the sheiks, and they passed that down to us because they was trying to get rid of Drew Ali. That's why when you listen to certain other leaders, they say, I remember when my father told everybody that the first time they seen us in this outfit or this garb, we was in the Moorish outfit. We was in the Moorish garb. But whoever that was, and whoever their forefathers were, used to be in the member of the Moorish Zion Temple of America. The Moorish Zion Temple of America is the oldest Islamic movement in North America. You'll find no other Islamic movement in North America but Drew Ali. Because whenever a nation is in need for a prophet, Allah will send one. Yeah? So he sent Noble Drew Ali. So now if he sent Noble Drew Ali, and Noble Drew Ali is the last prophet in this era of time, then what you keep looking over there for? Because everything that's over there is over here too. And through signs and symbols, you have to understand that that's for the conscious mind. See? And we are conscious. And the prophet made us conscious. He gave us the book of the seven seals. That none was able to open and read from its sacred pages the messages of purity and love. So now everybody is on the bus, is on the car, they driving somewhere else to learn about Islam and Ramadan, when you could do that right in your literature. Drew Ali gave all that to you. But you got to learn how to do what the prophets they do, because all of us that's ripping and running here, there, and everywhere. Now let me share this with you, because I haven't finished. Because you got to talk in signs, because a lot of stuff you don't even really supposed to say, because you got so many brothers and so many people getting on the internet and everywhere talking about leaderships. And you can't talk about a leadership. I give honor to James Lynch-Bey. And the reason why I give honor to James Lynch-Bey, because when the prophet, see, this is in Chicago, when the prophet disbanded the Supreme Grand Council. Yeah, ask the elders. I don't know a lot of you, but I know the Cook Bay sister over there. You know, Mexican Cook Bay. I know her father. I know her father, and I know Cornelius and them. They was given these lessons. Because me and Cornelius was together 40 years ago. We were together and we were talking about the holy teachings of the prophet. A lot of you around here, you don't even exist because you weren't even around. You don't know. You don't know the teachings of the prophet. So what I was saying is, the prophet disbanded the Supreme Grand Council because they went to us and said, prophet, take the money. Take the money, prophet. The European trying to give us money. That's why you never heard of the Moorish temple, because they want to keep this outside of you and me for as long as they could. But Allah, in his infinite wisdom, sent Jew Ali, and Jew Ali gave us these lessons to redeem us from our sinful ways. You think Allah ain't going to do that? You think Allah going to let us go around being Negro, colored, and black? Now, this is something else I need to say. Because I said that the prophet disbanded the Supreme Grand Council. My man, my instructor, the prophet told him that we're not going to eat scavenger. Catfish, scavenger. See, that's what Drew Ali told him. He said that I can't wear fez with a mark on because Drew Ali told me not to. But then I can understand why the prophet might have told somebody to do that, because right now the prophet's main concern was to establish the Moorish Temple of America. And these Europeans did everything that they could to keep the prophet outside of the spirit. So now all these other people, you with this organization, you with that organization, but you know what? I heard about a week ago. They said, man, I just heard that James and all them brothers wasn't with the body no more. They went yeah, that took place because the prophet did that. The prophet trying to set up for you and me the still work that we got to do. So Jew Ali established us in this government. He established us and told us that we had a nationality and a divine creed. But see, some of the same people that's involved with us being nationality and divine creed, a lot of them just want to throw away the national side. See? But we have a national side and we have a divine side. And we need to teach our people their divine side. That's why I say hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything that harm, and Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. And until you and I overcome this, we're going to have to keep going through it. Because we're going to have to overcome the things on this plane of things made manifest before we can go to another plane. It said many ages man would tarry until his lessons are learned. So what are those lessons that man needs to learn in this age? He needs to learn how to love instead of hate. He needs to know who his forefathers were. And I'm so happy because my mother and my aunt and them, they're at churches. And Drew Ali said some of his greatest followers are in the church. So you walk around and look, and in the time of Drew Ali, most of those people that was around, ask the Moors that's still around. Because I heard the Assistant Grand Sheik of the Moorish Temple of America say this before. I heard him say it, so I can keep on saying it. See, I'm keep saying it because somebody else said, and in the time of the prophet, when he was on the podium teaching, just like these people running around here today, they say, hey, prophet, it don't go this way. Hey, prophet, it don't go that way. So they're telling the prophet, no, but Drew Ali, this ain't the way it go. It should go this way. And if that's the case, that's why you see right now, hey, I'm going to tell you something. We had man, some things you don't want to say, but we had brothers and we had sisters. And these brothers and sisters, I'm going to teach you on that in a little while, they was teaching about the brother that had these mausoleums. But Drew Ali didn't have a mausoleum. They took to his mausoleum and put it under the ground, and if it wasn't for Sister Christina Price Bay, Drew Ali wouldn't be here nowhere. So now what we going to do? We got mausoleum, we got Noble Drew Ali over here, we got him with the Chinese, but ain't but one prophet. In every era of time, whenever a nation is in need for a prophet, Allah will send one. And the reason why he sent us Noble Drew Ali, because we needed a nationality. If Drew Ali wouldn't have sent Noble Drew Ali, we would never had a nationality. But when Drew Ali came, he lost his life. These Europeans wasn't going for that. They had no idea that you look around today and see the Moorish markers. Man, we look so good. I look at the Moorish markers today. I just looked at the convention. I just look at brothers. I just look at sisters, and we look so good. And Drew Ali told us that. You ain't seen nothing yet. Because in the next 100 years, or whenever you want to say, the Moors are going to come into their own. They say Allah going to do that. He said, whenever nations are in need for a prophet, Allah going to send one. And whatever Allah sent is what we needed. And that is why you don't hear him talking about Noble Drew Ali in the schools. Because they kill everybody who was trying to talk about it. Other than those that's working with him and took money. And look at him chomping that chump. I know this other dude, he getting ready to die now. All these years, this dude know that he wasn't Negro, black, and colored, and he telling the people that he black. You're going to have to answer to that. When you tell our brothers, and when you tell our sisters that they Negro, colored, and black, and these names were given to slaves by slaveholders, you're going to have to answer to that, and you're going to have to keep coming back until all your lessons are learned. Not how good you quote, but how good you live the law that Allah sent to us. So when Allah sent Noble Drew Ali to us, he came to redeem us from our sinful ways. He came to teach us about our nationality. He said, what is your name? My name is James Lynch-Bey. What is your nationality? Moorish American. I said, why are we Moorish American? Because we are descendants of Moroccans and born in America. Well, who are these Moroccans? They are descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. So we got to look at this. We got to look at this. We got to understand this. And right now, everybody, that go for you too, the reincarnation in everybody. It ain't but one prophet. Ain't but one prophet. And when Noble Drew Ali was here, because my man was here too. He was right there with Drew Ali. Drew Ali the one that told him not to do this, not to do that. And man, things are looking real good. But when he was on the scene, he said 7 days after Drew Ali, he told me, I'm back. You back? You never went. Drew Ali said, I bought you everything that it take to save a nation. Now take it and save yourself. He said also, if you will need it anymore, that's what Drew Ali said. He said, if you need it anymore, I would have bought you that too. So I bought you everything. I bought you everything that it needs, and those that's coming behind me, I bought it all. It's in the book. You know Drew Ali said about eating pork? He told the members, and the reason why I want to say this is because my family, like my biological father, 1898, that's when he was born. My uncle, 1895. My aunt, 18. I have a lot of people, most of them born in the 18-something. And when I talk about them, it reminds me of the members in the Moorish Science Temple of America. Because all of them wear suspenders like I got on. All of them might do whatever they do, but they in the church. And just because you in the church, don't make and mean that you walking with God. See? Because ain't but one. Nationality is the order of the day. Investigate. Because I'm listening to all these dudes. Investigate. Investigate, especially I'm in my 70s. And my sister about ready to turn 80. I got a cousin get ready to turn 80. So all my family, and I remember all of them when they first went to school. They was Negroes, they was colored, then they become black, and then before they become black, was when they was colored. And this is when you begin to talk about the civil rights. See, civil rights is not even an issue that you can take to the United Nations. When you're talking about civil rights, a non-political issue. Everybody I know, like I like to reiterate, that brother, the Chinese nation. And the reason why I want to mention the Chinese nation again is because Biden, our president, you got a lot of bad things to say about the Chinese. I don't have nothing to say about none of it. But I do know that the Chinese is conscious enough to know that during the advent of slavery And when the Moors went into slavery in 711 to 1492, we know that they was Moors. And everybody know that. The only one don't know that is the one that's dying, you and me, our brothers and our sisters, because brothers today still calling yourself Negro, colored, and black. And when Drew Ali was on the scene, he taught us these things. But most of the Moors that was in Spain, that was there, that we went there to try to bring Europe out of the Dark Ages, they got caught up in an illusion. They started doing the same thing that the Europeans are doing. And I'm looking today, that's why so many brothers are married to the European woman. That's why so many are married to the European woman. Because they done took you and took you somewhere else, and you were other who your forefathers were. So man today is what his forefathers were yesterday. And there's no one who is able to change man from the decent nature of his mother and father unless his power extend beyond the great universal creator, Allah himself. So nationality is the order of the day. And all these brothers and sisters that's in the Moorish Science Temple of America, you say that you in Branch Temple, you in Temple this, and you in Temple that. You ain't with Jones Bay over there. You ain't with him. You with that one over there and that one over there, whichever one sound good. But don't get hung up in sound and effect, because everything that sound good don't have to be. So we need to understand that the reason why we have a nationality, or whenever a nation is in need for a prophet, Allah will send one. Allah had to send us one. He had to send us over Drew Ali, but you don't hear nobody talk about it. You keep talking about Ramadan, you keep talking about everything else, and the only way that we're going to bring this movement back under one head like the prophet left it, we're going to have to put things in order. So all you brothers and sisters, it says every subordinate temple of the Grand Major Temple should form under the covenant of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and create your own laws. Now, if you're serious about the prophet, then you're going to have to say, man, Allah, bless me. Help me unfold as does the bud unfold to show the flower. Because if we are serious about bringing this movement back under one head like the prophet left it, because until we do that, we ain't going to be able to go see nobody, talk to nobody, or do nothing but we're out here looking crazy. And that's how it is now. We looking crazy. All of us is looking crazy. We say we Moorish American, but we crazy. Oh, well, I will close for now, and I'll open again later. I'll cite the Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All in my home, Lord, I'm going to let it shine.